So this is Megan and Becca, and we're gonna review King of Envy by Anna Huang today. And it just came out, so we're gonna talk about it. And I want you to go first because I want to hear what you had to say about it.
Fair. Okay. So overall, I'll give this a 3.5.
Okay.
I feel like Vuk and Ayana, we didn't really have much to go on beforehand, so I didn't really know what to expect. I went in blind, but I don't know. I did not like the book. I was it was very lackluster for me. Like, I thought that I liked a little bit of plot, definitely, but I like way more romance, and I feel like the scale for this book was tipped toward the plot, like the whole brotherhood, and we'll get into it, and like her whole modeling career, which is cool, great, love it, but I felt like we didn't get much of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then for Spice, I'll also give it like a 3 in comparison to like King of Pride, King of Wrath. Like, I felt like this book was a little lacking for me too. I thought that it would like kind of evolve as the series goes on, and I just don't know if it's because it was the first time us meeting these two characters. I don't know. I just did not vibe with the book.
Okay. Okay, good, because I felt the same way.
Oh, that first okay, I was like, did you not agree?
No, I'm so glad that I had a feeling that you didn't like it, but I just wanted to make sure. But yeah, I gave this a 2.5 out of 5. And like this one had me literally so bored. Like,
Right?
I was reading a couple books. I was behind on my quota this month. So I was reading another book that also had me bored because it was in like an academia setting. So it was just a lot of knowledge. So in between that being that was fantasy, I went to King of Envy. So I was reading 2 at a time. I even started a third book and finished that before finishing this book because it just had me so fucking bored. I had to push through it. I just really feel like it didn't, like you said, it kind of didn't set up for this character mashup at all in other books. Like, at least in the other books, it had a mention of the other characters. I don't think it did in the previous book. Like, we knew who he was, but not interacting.
Ayana was name dropped like twice, probably.
Yeah, and like it wasn't even like a scene of like those characters and like knowing something's gonna happen. And then I just felt like this book was so long. Like
For what?
I exactly, like I really feel like she could have cut out 250 pages and we would have been probably better, to be honest. I'm trying to see. I have it in my notes because King of Greed was 352, King of Pride was 400. So like this was just a little bit hunkier, but again, like you said, for what? It didn't really. It did more plot, like not even plot driving. It did like character driving, I guess, than anything. And then we can go into it before I keep going on a rant, but and then the ending, because you gave it a 3.5. I was going to give it 3.5, but that ending, which we'll get into, I had to knock it down a whole point because I literally had my book in front of me and I did like that meme of like the sports guy that takes his headphones off and like cringes. That's literally what I did. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And Spicy gave it a 2. Like you said, it was very vanilla for me.
I gave it a 2 because there's 2 scenes.
One for each. There wasn't a lot, number 1, and number 2 just really felt like it was vanilla. Like she was like saying like, oh, like I like that he's choking me, but then they never did anything like that. And it's like, what was that? Like, it's supposed to be this big scary man. Like, is he scary in bed? Is he not? Like, there was no clear driver on like what their sexual, I guess, preferences are. It was just
seriously
weird.
And Anna Wong name dropped breath play, so I was like, she's gonna incorporate this later on in the book.
Yes, didn't even go over that and had the homegirl even like Google it and look at videos and like get all hot and heavy, like thinking about doing it, and then didn't even do it. And I was just like, it really felt like the chemistry was just so off for me.
It was very odd. Like, sure, I kind of also was thinking this was almost like Twisted Lies, where
Mm,
the MMC was kind of infatuated with
yes.
the FMC, sure, but like nothing really came of it. Like, at least with like Christian and Stella, they did develop a lot of chemistry, but like, I don't know, it was just so annoying for me that like it was like one scene, you know, Ayana felt some sparks, and then it was like 3 weeks went by since we last spoke. I was like, what is happening here? Like, stop time skipping. Give me something.
Yeah, and like I've read books that time skip. Like I just read Butcher and Blackbird, and she
Hmm.
does multiple time skips for a purpose. But that book's only 330 pages long. This book was almost 550 pages, and for it to time skip like that is like that. That's not what we're looking for. But then I also like agree with the Twisted Lies. That's why I didn't like Twisted Lies, because it just felt
Hmm.
like he, which I'm fine with, like dark romance and like obsession on one side kind of thing. Like I'm fine with that, but it just felt like it didn't develop in like a connection past that, which is what she aims to do. And it just felt like Ayana was like forced to have these feelings for him. I don't know. It didn't seem like genuine feelings. Like in I guess for example, King of Sloth, when Sloane like breaks down her walls of like when her fish dies. And she's like, I don't
Hmm.
have anybody. I had this stupid fucking fish, and like I can't even keep that alive, and blah blah blah. And like it was like a whole big
Like a moment.
a moment between the two of them, and like really broke down the walls of like how they feel about each other. And I know that he doesn't speak. I understand that, but it felt like even with his POVs, it wasn't anything. Like not even his real feelings, just saying like he's loved her from afar. Like that was kind of it. Like he was an idol fan basically that just was obsessed with her,
Yeah.
and he'd even tell her, he never even told her that. Never even told her that. Like at least in
Really?
Twisted Lies, didn't Christian, right? His name is.
Hmm.
Didn't he tell Stella that like sorry, but I've been like monitoring you this whole time? And then she was like,
Yeah.
"Wow, that's fucked up. Like, don't talk to me."
Yes, that's a good point. Yeah, he never mentioned the
He
past.
he never said like, "Oh yeah, I've actually like been in love with you since you became a model." Like, I don't think he ever even said that.
No, so he was just creeping. I was honestly expecting some like haunting Adeline stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's in this secret brotherhood. He did some shady work. He's been watching her from afar, but he protects her, but with some, I don't want to say violence, but some shady means. I was
Mm-hmm.
expecting a little bit of that, and sure, we got that with like the random photograph that she got, and maybe that was their only moment, but then I mean, of course, I give it to you, girl. Like, yeah, that's really crazy to see a mutilated body, picture of a mutilated body on your coffee table.
Oh
But
yeah, I
like,
mean,
didn't talk about that for weeks. And I'm like, I just want some sort of like opening up. Like,
I just
oh, I started to like you. You've liked me. Like, let's talk about it. No, nothing. They just leave each other alone.
and I think the moment I stopped liking this book was when so I like I said, I don't like to compare other books, but like how in Haunting Adeline, like she was already a freak, right?
That's true.
She was already a psycho. She was already a freak in the sheets. So like being left flowers on her coffee table, she's like, that's fucking weird. I'm not gonna say anything though because I kind of like this. So, but Ayana didn't like that stuff as from what she said, and then she, like you said, gets this photograph of a mutilated headless body or whatever. Doesn't freak out as much.
Hmm.
She does like an inner freak out, and then immediately is like, I trust you. And it's like there was nothing. Like but then she's like, is she mentally okay? Like it was like so weird because then she didn't there was no like sexual scenes of like them being crazy. Like there was nothing to back it up that she was like also a freak.
That's perfect because there was so much lead up, and then like it was just the biggest tease. Like, because right, like we talked about the breath play, we talked about him losing control sometimes, and like
Mm-hmm.
like he would flip out. We saw like the bar fight scene where like he went a little too
Or the
crazy,
paintball scene.
or the paintball, right?
Yes.
Exactly. And then like next thing you know,
Like
oh, I
they,
like you. I like you too.
yeah, let's have sex in the elevator and then we'll get out and go to sleep. And it's like, what the hell was that? Like,
Hmm.
I, I don't know. I will keep reading these just because I know that the percentage of writing bangers out of bad ones is high. Like, she writes really good ones, and then sometimes they're stinkers. Like, I hated King of Greed.
Can you upgrade? Oh yeah, we both did.
Yeah, I think everybody did, but like, it's just, you know, I'll keep reading them because it outweighs the time she writes bad ones, but I feel like their characters didn't mesh at all, and like the brotherhood thing, I was like, okay, like this is a good plot development. Like in the beginning I was like, okay, we're going somewhere. And then I thought it was like going somewhere with the modeling agency, and then it wasn't because then she was like she like that this sorry, this was the thing. She I'm like jumping back and forth, but it all makes sense. But the thing that pissed me off the most was that she entered this marriage of convenience for a purpose, right? To like get out of the agency. And like then Jordan gets shot, he comes out of the coma, he says like, okay, I want out of it. And then you're telling me like if you were in that situation and you were being sexually harassed, sexually or just plain abused and harassed and whatever, and like your money was taken from you, you're telling me that if that happened to you and he dropped that bombshell and you knew you were stuck at the agency, you wouldn't internally freak out? Because she
Yeah.
seemed fine with it. She was like, oh, okay, like it's totally okay, like I'll figure it out, like you have your life. Yeah, sure, but like that's my friend. Like I would be supportive, but internally I would be like, what the fuck do I do now? Like I'm freaking out. And she seemed like she was totally cool with it, and then went to the birthday party and was like, oh, you know, like, and then she fired me, but I was gonna quit anyway. It's like, but you just did this whole build up. That was the whole purpose of being in the marriage, was because you couldn't just leave, and now you suddenly can leave.
And that's another good thing too. Like she, and also just getting into the marriage. Like you're right. Like it's all just like too good to be true. Like who would sign over 5 years of their life
Exactly.
of celibacy, and like of course on Jordan's side too, like he was asexual, so like
Mm-hmm.
that's not as hard for him. But like I think it's crazy to me that like she has such a lavish life on paper, and she does talk about the tabloids and how she has to save face and all this stuff, and then like yeah, you're right, she's like yeah, this is fine, 5 years. I'm like 5 years is a long time,
Yeah.
and then for it all just to go up in smoke like that.
And to not
um
even like freak out at all.
right, like I would be devastated. I'm like, however, what was it, 5 million or more, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Like I was like, that's a lot of money. You were already waiting 5 years of your life. So like sure,
Mm-hmm.
like I would have been like, oh my gosh, great, I don't have to be with this guy for 5 years and like play a lie, but like oh my gosh, what about all this money
Yes,
that I owe?
exactly. That like this plan that you have. Like,
And then you know what they also mentioned, like her parents like putting up money to help her, and then they never spoke about it again.
really?
Because I was so confused. I was like, why does she owe all this money? And then she said something about her parents helping her, and then like of course the modeling agency wasn't paying her, and like they made her pay for her own headshots when she didn't know that.
Mm.
But I was like, because that's why she was just like, oh, I can't tell my parents, I can't tell my parents. But I was like, again, this sounds like so many more problems and just glossing over all of it, like yay, fairy tale happy ending.
It just feels like a lot of points like just connecting didn't make sense. Like you said, she lives a lavish lifestyle. She wears heels everywhere. She has designer everything, but then she has no money from her agency because they're not paying her. So it's like, how does she have these things?
Hmm.
It's just like connecting the dots. I'm like, I don't understand. Like, girl's not shopping at Salvation Army. I can tell you that. So
Yeah,
it's
and
like,
there's just so many dots for this. Like we're working with like old characters like Roman, and then we have the Brotherhood, and
mm-hmm.
then we have her with the modeling agency, and then we have the harassment, and then we have their budding romance, and then we have the marriage of convenience, and I'm like, and then there's a fucking cat. I'm like, there's so much going on.
Okay, can please talk about the cat now? I that is why I hated the book. Don't get me wrong.
Cat?
I love the cat. It's the ending with the cat. I literally I'm all for cats, right? Like and animals in books. Like Quicksilver with the fox and companions and stuff like that, but I know she was alluding to the fact that the cat was going to be in the car because every time the cat was in the scene, he would escape and be with him, and then he'd be like, "Oh, he just knows how to escape and he just gets in my car." Okay, whatever. But then for the cat to save the day, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like that's where I took like the book away. I was like, "Oh, like that was some like Hallmark shit."
As a crazy cat lady, I loved everything up until that part. I was like, I love that this cat is like like that. It's literally like the canon event of like the dad saying, "No, I don't want any animals," and then them becoming best friends.
Yes.
And big tough guy with a little cat, sure. But right, like the cat, like Buck is talking about how he is like trained assassin. Like I'm literally thinking some like covert ops shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like some Anbu Black Ops. Like this man is going above and beyond.
Yes.
And I'm like, you're telling me you get bested by a 60-year-old lady and a drug-crazed photographer?
Yes, exactly. And the cat saves you.
And the cat saves you. Anyway, again, like we say, we're not supposed to compare books, but I was like, if this was Reese...
Oh my god.
from Twisted... What is it?
Twisted, Games?
Games, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He would destroy everyone. Mm-hmm. Literally. Not a single person would be left. Which I understand that's his, like, mentality. Like, maybe he was saying, like... Maybe he was thinking, like, oh, I can't do anything. She's right there. She's gonna get shot. But I don't know. It didn't seem like he tried to do anything. And for the cat to come down... Which also... I logistically... have to say, like, so the cat came down, attacked the photographer, and then for a whole minute scratched up his face. I'm like, but apparently that cat was small because he only had him for like a couple weeks. So you're telling me that like, man didn't just palm that cat and just throw him within like a second?
And also, yeah, and they said that guy was high off his ass, like they could see his pupils from a mile away. And same, like having cats, like I used to volunteer at cat shelters. They'll claw you real quick and run. Cats aren't going to sit there and gouge your eyes out.
Mm-hmm.
So I was also like, right, that timing. I'm like, so you're telling me they can like have this cutesy little reunion? I'm like, get the fuck as
while the cat is being
I'm like, get the fuck out of there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then like Ayana just somehow after all of this, she then decides to faint running out of the burning building. I'm like, really, girl? You couldn't have made it 50 more feet?
Okay, so I thought the cat was stuck there, or I thought like Roman was back there. I don't know, like even though he was carrying Ayana,
it was confusing.
Yeah, I thought that like someone was behind that she wanted to get. So I was thinking like, oh, the cat stayed behind, and so she was gonna go get him. No, she just fucking fainted. I'm like, girl.
Like, and that was also something else. They said, Roman had Buck. I'm so confused. Anyway, so whoever carried Buck out. Oh, Ayana went first. Shouldn't she have been in front of you then? Shouldn't you have seen her fall?
Did
she take a wrong turn?
Yeah, and then they didn't like she faint, and then like he couldn't find her because he like passed out, and then someone else found her or something. And I was like, what in the hell?
Cat.
Yeah, the cat. Yeah, the cat.
Yeah, I don't know. I have more negatives than positives.
Before we continue to the line delivery that also made me hate this book was where when he shoots the photographer, he goes, "Don't touch my fucking cat." I was like, oh my god. That was literally Lifetime movie right there. Mm-hmm. And I hated that. Because I'm like... Yeah,
don't touch your fucking cat, but then like...
What about your girl? What about your
girl?
Your woman? who he just tied up to a chair and was like beating the shit out of. What about your woman? Don't touch my fucking cat. Like, man is one of many words, and he chose that sentence.
And that's what he said. Like, I think he said earlier when he beat him up was like, people don't deserve his oxygen or something like that. But I'm like, you chose to speak those words. Like, that
Yeah.
literally, that does sound like a Hallmark movie.
Yes.
Or like a cheesy 80s action film.
It did feel like that. It just like, and then the cat birthday after it, I was like, all right, we're just pushing this really far. Like, we're not doing the pregnancy trope this time, but did we need to do the cat birthday?
Which I'm glad for, because I definitely think that's always like the happy ending go to. So I was really
Yeah.
expecting them, like, I liked the whole Iceland thing and the proposal. I thought that was cute. I
Yeah, I
was
like that.
I was expecting like Ayana to move back to DC because she had such a terrible time in New York, and like Vuk giving up everything to like kind of have a low key life. Like, I was expecting something where they actually come together and like are on equal footing, and then cat birthday.
Yeah. Like, yeah. And it just seemed like even at the end, like, with Vuk talking to everyone's favorite, Dominic. I hate that dude. Talking to Dominic at the end about like Roman, I think, right? And they were like just talking business. But I'm like, so are we bringing? Why this is like a Marvel movie now? Why are we bringing all these characters back? I thought like that's like I understand Roman because his brother's in the Brotherhood, but it's like, is he gonna have a book? Like, what's his purpose now? You know, like nobody else was in this Brotherhood of the MCs or anything. So it's like, what is that purpose now? I don't know.
You know who I thought was going to be tied into this?
Who?
Alex and Ava, because he was into some sketchy shit, and I'm pretty sure his family was Eastern European. That's where I thought that was
Oh,
going.
yeah, he was. He was Eastern European, that's right.
But no, it was all about Roman, and I'm like, Roman's a dickhead that we learned about from King of Greed, and now he's getting all the spotlight. You're right, maybe he is getting the next book, which if he is, I just have no want or need to read it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't.
And that's another thing. Who's next? Like, every other book, there's been a setup, so we can at least start guessing.
Well, it says at the back, which I already assumed this, but it says at the end that next for Gluttony is Sebastian and Maya.
You're right.
Which is fine because, like, during that, there was a build up to that. Like, even before her birthday party, like, when she would talk to her, she would say, like, oh, I hate Sebastian. He's so annoying, like, blah, blah, blah. And then in the birthday party with him, like, teasing her and, you know, the looks. And then even Ayana was like, which I was like, girl, how do you know? You don't know love.
How you feel about Buck?
Yeah. And she was like, oh, I could see something there, but I won't say anything. It's like, how do you know that? Like, you don't even know what you're looking at. But I'm fine with that one because it was like looks like it's a lead up to it. But like this one didn't have much for the previous book. But yeah, just I don't know, like even the ending of it, like the Iceland proposal is nice. I just feel like it was still missing something other than a cat birthday. Like, I wasn't looking for the pregnancy trope because it was not leading to that whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I really just feel like it was missing something else at the end. I was just like, when it ended, I was like, okay, like, all right.
Right, like I was really hoping for like them to like settle down together, Buck like officially retiring because like he works too much. Her, maybe we also just don't know like what she's doing after modeling. Like, is she going with, I was like kind of expecting almost like a Stella thing, her to open up her own agency where the models are protected, or she works in some sort of entertainment or like a call girl type thing. But birthday.
Yeah, because, like, if you think about it, I'm looking at the other books, like, if you think about it, they all kind of did something. But yeah, I feel like the other books like had an ending. Like it'll be like, I don't know, like a year later. Like you know how books when they do the ending, it's like in the future, but then the next
Yeah,
book
like an epilogue.
yeah, but the next book doesn't start at the epilogue. It's during the time of like another book. So what was it? King of Sloth, right? Where King of Sloth. I'm trying to remember. Was it Sloth or Greed that they went to like the DR or something and they saw Jules and Josh?
Oh, King of Greed, because that
Okay.
was Allie and Dominic.
Yeah. So it was obviously taking place when like they were together, not like so far in the future. So it's like obviously all connected, but like another example, The Ritual, like the dark romance one. Like that ends and then it does like a 15-year epilogue. But then in The Sinner, it's just picking up during the timeline of like when they were together, if that makes sense. So I just feel like this didn't, it had like, yeah, it had like 4 months later. It's like, no, I was looking for like, I don't know, like a wedding or
Like long-term stuff.
yeah, like something like 5 years in the future. Like they bought a house here and they have a house full of cats and they do, you know what I mean? Like it just didn't feel like much. Like it was just
That's what
like
I was looking
Keiko.
for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was literally looking for them moving out of the city, her getting away because she kept saying how much she hated New York, how expensive it was, how much she misses her family, she was alienated, and then
Mm-hmm.
how they like how their careers were taking over their lives and just kind of like either settling down and then like everyone else did something like you said that they weren't their own employee. Like Sloane started her own PR firm, like Ava really didn't have a job and then she oh wait, I'm not Ava, Viv.
Mm-hmm.
And then she started the party planning business. Like
Yeah.
Sloane became a writer, like so that they could actually be happy in their careers as well as like their personal life.
Mm-hmm.
And then Buck always said he worked too much and like he had the whole security guys. Like I was really hoping for something where like they both actually settled down together because every other couple settled down together.
Mm-hmm. Even I think in Love, Twisted Hate, didn't Jules like start her own like
Her law
firm?
firm, or
Yeah.
yeah,
And I think Josh was like still a nurse or he became a doctor or something, but
right.
so it was, yeah, it was essentially like each person was kind of creating their own path that they were so hating that they were on. Like even as much as we hate Dominic, didn't Dominic like leave the Wall Street I guess career path for Allie? Like didn't he do
Hmm.
that? Like he quit his job and just did something else and
Yeah, because he was working too much and that almost costed him his marriage.
yeah, so it's like they all did something that benefited them at the end. Like and again, like you said, like even Ayana said through the whole book, she likes modeling now, but she didn't even want to do that. Like she went to school to be a chemist, I think she said,
Hmm.
and didn't do
Biochemist or
that.
something.
Yeah, and like didn't do that. And just happened to do modeling because she had a pretty face and she wanted to make money, and that's that's it. Like you would think that after admitting that you didn't even like doing modeling, that you just you're doing it because you're good at it. Like you would think that she would have chosen a path at the end of the book to do something that mattered really to her. Like fuck whatever, if he has his own security business and he's whatever, like security's his thing apparently because that's what he was all about, but she made it very clear she didn't like her career path and then she stuck with it and it's like, girl, that kind of put a bad taste in my mouth.
And that's one thing I like about Anna Wong's writing is that it's like these women are career driven. It's not just like all they want is a relationship.
Yeah.
But this one was like lackluster because I don't know, like they set us up for like everyone else getting like that perfect personal ending and that perfect career ending, and she did not, in my opinion.
No, I'm looking at all the books now and I really don't like the outlier I guess could be Twisted Games just because she was royalty, but so that was just kind of like an outlier, but like that had a totally different plot in itself, but
But
yeah,
even so, she changed the rules of her
to
situation.
how she wanted it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I just feel like, I mean, we don't talk about King Agreed because whatever, but I guess
Fuck it.
Allie wanted to be a mom and that was what she wanted. That was her choice.
Hmm.
So,
But she also started that pressed flowers company because she was tired of not doing anything.
oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
And then she became a mom. But still,
Hmm.
like, she was still fulfilled.
Yeah, doing something that she was passionate about. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I feel like this one was just like a giant mess. It just,
There's just so much going on.
yeah, I don't know. It just didn't. Books are books, right? Like no, they're not all meant to feel realistic because it's a fucking book. You read it because you don't want to deal with your everyday life. You want to read something that's not real, you know? So, am I going to find a rich Russian guy in college that is best friends with my brother and he hates me and then he's going to buy out my entire art gallery? No, I'm not going to do that. But it's like there's something relatable in each book to a sense, like the whole finding your path, finding like women in careers and stuff like that. Like it is relatable to a sense, but I feel like this one was too. This one was probably the most unrelatable because number one, like I know not everybody is the same, but like half of the people in existence, like if they worked at a job that they hated so much they were sexually abused and harassed and their wages were being garnished and whatever, they would leave. Like they would actively find out ways to leave instead of marrying a guy to get $5 million. So
Okay.
they didn't
Fair.
even
And
try.
no, and this was the craziest part when that whole thing happened with the photographer. She's like, the only person I want to see is Buck. My girl, the only person you should want to see is the police.
Yeah, I was like, you didn't even. And then when she went to him, didn't he say like, did you call the police? She's like, no, I came here first. I was like, if someone told me that, I'd be like, yeah, girl, we're calling the police right now. You can stay here.
Yeah,
Or
exactly. And
or
like,
call the
and
cops.
and then toward the end, like when he went to go visit, I forget what her boss, Emmanuel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, they'll just say that she was, a model and she was consensual. I was like, who could have helped that? The police and all the evidence that you scratched him, she
Mm-hmm.
headbutted him, she was left alone. I was like, all like she didn't want to blow up the whole scene with the whole modeling thing, but I'm like, you already hate your job. You're already trying to leave. You were getting a lawyer. I'm like, wouldn't this police report really help in your favor to get out of this terrible situation that's sketchy as it is?
Exactly. And I feel like if she added the plot of going to the police and them denying it, like throwing out the claims, whatever, that would have been more of a point of like, okay, this industry is against her. Because when she wasn't taking active steps to like even the whole garnishing her wages thing, she didn't even like try really to be like, hey, I want my money. Like all she said was, hey, like what about those jobs? Like I don't want to push it. It's like, no, if you're owed money, you fucking say something. Like don't say something.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't even say anything until she got fired. So like she said that one thing one time and was like, hey, what about my money? But other than that, she didn't say anything. So it's like she didn't even take active steps to
Right.
to
She would just
properly hate
text.
her job. Like she was just like whatever.
Mm-hmm. And I get it. Like, she was saying, like, oh, if you talk out, then you're seen as difficult in the workforce. And I thought that's what she was going to do. She was going to talk out, expose the boss, and then, like,
Exactly.
start her own um,
Because she
modeling
hated it so
firm.
much.
Exactly. And she was like, oh, this is just how it is. This is the industry. I'm like, okay, well, then change the industry, bitch. Like, she was like the top model of the year. And then she had jobs booked out to like the end of or next year or whatever. I'm like, you have sway. Do something with it.
Mm-hmm. And it was just the fact that it's like she didn't even have her try to get out of it. Because like, yeah, if you know that the industry is tough and like they get rid of people nonstop and you want to leave, wouldn't you like kind of like you said, like expose them and be obnoxious and not do your jobs? And then I'm sorry, I have to say this. Like I when when her husband was shot, right? Like yeah, it was a really shitty move that like 3 days later they're calling her to do jobs. Like I get that. That's a really shitty thing to do. That jobs are like that though. That's not that's literally unfortunately normal for a lot of jobs. Like, oh, your grandma died, can you come in tomorrow? It's like that's normal. But and then for homegirl to be so surprised she got fired. So surprised she got fired when she talked to the owner, the CEO, the way she did, which good for you. You did that. Like that was you had to do that. But she did that, and then she refused to do jobs and make the money. And then she got so surprised on why she was fired. And I'm like, you're upset that you got fired, but you wanted to leave, but you're confused on how you got fired, and you didn't do any work.
Right, and then she said that she didn't want to work until the end of the year. But you know what's crazy is, like, there's something with, like, what's her name? Kendall Jenner refusing jobs, and then they were like, well, not all of us get to refuse jobs. Like, some of us actually have to work like
Yes,
a self-made model. I'm like, that's what it reminded me of, because like she's like, no, I don't want to work until the end of the year. Cool, I get it. Yes, like your husband,
Yeah,
shot.
exactly.
But I'm like, you're already on thin ice. You're already afraid of losing your job. Like, you're trying to leave, and then like, lo and behold, you get fired. Like, it shouldn't have been that big of a surprise. Like, it was like, just take it and leave.
Exactly, like, and the thing is, when because I forgot she said this, that she wasn't accepting jobs till the end of the year. That happened in the beginning of October, so she was refusing work for the next like 3.5 months, and it's like, girl, you should not be surprised that you got fired. Like, that's crazy that you, like, it would be crazy if you still had a job, like so I don't know. I just like, to me, like, that's how that seemed unrealistic, because it's like her response was unrealistic to me, but there are people out there that genuinely believe that like jobs shouldn't fire them. Like there are people out there, like I can't say that there's not, because I've met them, but like I don't know, it felt odd. It felt like you said, like she wasn't even actively trying to do anything about the problem. And then comes to Vuck, kind of setting him up to fail, like, with her problem. And then she doesn't actively do anything about it, so he does. And then she's like, Vuck, you can't do that. Like, and it's like, well, you kind of, like, asked him without asking him, because you didn't do it yourself. And it just...
Right. And then she's like, oh, did you, like, she got, like, the shit from Hank, like, her agent.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you knew that he was going to do something weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what else was he going to do? Like, maybe call the police if he was normal, but you already know he's not normal.
Exactly.
That's what you should have done.
And I feel like the trust thing with them was so strange, because, like, I don't know. What do I want to compare it to? I don't know. I guess I can go back to Haunting Adeline. Like we said, she was already a freak, so it's like, yeah, she didn't want to be stalked. He didn't make any advances, I think, until the woods scene, right, where like he was like, run and I'll chase you.
Yeah, he's like, chase you, yeah.
But she was into that, so it's like, so she was like, okay, I'm gonna do that. But like, Ayanna, I felt like Addie trusted him to do those things to her, because she was already in like communication with him. He was kind of already telling her, like, this is who I am, like, this is what I'm gonna do to you, like, and she was like playing the victim, but we all know that she was like into it. So that was the trust that they built somehow. But with Ayanna and Vuck, it just felt like there wasn't trust enough. Like, there was no buildup of trust. He told her kind of in the beginning, like, I'm not a great guy. Like, I've done some shady shit in my past, but didn't tell her really what he did. So she didn't really know. So then when he does the thing, like, he beats up Hank and then tells her, and she's like shocked. But then she's like, or no, sorry. Yeah, when he beats him up, and then it's towards the end when he's like, oh, did he tell you that, like, he did this extra, that he said to get you more jobs and blah, blah, blah. And I'm sorry, but, like, a man that I've only known for a short period of time, that I've had sex with maybe twice. Like, and I'm told this information that the person I'm sleeping with said this to my agent. Like, part of me would be like, is this true? Like, did you really say that? Like, I feel like I would doubt, you know, but it felt like there was so much trust out of nowhere to where when he said that, she was like, did you say that? And he's like, of course I didn't say that. And she's like, okay, I trust
Cool,
you.
yeah.
And it's just like, I know a lot of people are trusting, maybe like some of us aren't, but it's just like, it felt like, I don't know, it just felt so strange. Like, oh yeah, I trust you, but I barely know you. I don't know. Like, I guess not being naive. Like, she just was very naive for me. I guess it's just the best way to say it.
I agree. Especially, I mean, that's probably the moral of the story. Like, signing up for a 5-year marriage of convenience contract, not reading her marriage contract.
Oh my God.
Like, I don't know. It's kind of a red flag to me. If some guy that I've barely been talking to, like, chokes me out at my bachelorette party, I'm probably not going to be speaking to you ever again. That's just me, though.
That's where I thought that breath play and stuff would come into play later. I thought she would be kind of a freak.
Right, because she kind of wasn't as scared as you think you'd be. Like, she was just like, it's okay, I'm okay. Like, I would have headbutted the guy.
Yeah, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you touching me? Yeah, it just felt... And I think that's literally how she got into all her issues, like, being naive. Like, I just, like, I understand that, like, there's naive people out there. Like, being naive is a thing. I get that. I just feel like if that was her weakness or her quirk or something in this book, I think it would have been better. The book would have been better if she worked on that and made her into more of a person that checks her surroundings and is kind of like, okay, example number 18, I guess. But when she's in the kitchen and she hears the sound before she finds the photos, she says she hears a sound, or she was like, it was too quiet, and she grabs the knife. And what does she do? She just stands there with the knife, and she doesn't call anybody.
Even before that, when he drove her home when it was raining that night, she just invited him up. I'm like, I watch way too many 48 hours, girl gone missing. I'm like, that's a serial killer. That's what serial killers do.
After he choked you out and you're like, you want to come up to my apartment. It's like, if he didn't choke you out, I could see that happening as like a one night stand type of thing. But the man literally assaulted you and you're just like, you want to come upstairs, like, and have coffee or have tea or whatever.
Where he knows you live alone.
Yeah, exactly. And he's already said that. And you're like, what? How do you know that? And then you don't pick it up again. And it's like, girl, being naive is just, it's exhausting. How do you live like that? But
yeah, long story short, it was not as realistic as the other ones.
Yeah, TDLR, girl was way too naive, and the cat ending was the worst. Yeah,
the end.
Yeah, the end. I guess we'll see how the next one goes. Like, I probably would feel better if it wasn't 500 pages, to be honest. If she brought it back down, scaled it back down to like the 350-ish, 400.
Truly.
I would be much better off. I just think the 510 pages, I was like, oh my God. Like, I kept like flipping to the back to see like, oh, is it really 510 pages? Because I was just like so done with it.
It honestly read more to me almost like an action rather than a romance. Like, I feel like we got more book for the Brotherhood, and then her complaining about the modeling agency. And it was cute that they went to her family's house, but that was a couple chapters. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, it just felt
I'm not
like
reading this.
She gave us so many. Yeah, she gave us so many opportunities to do other things and read other things. Like, I don't know, like the date was cute, but like, what if they ended it on like a super romantic note and like they couldn't get out of each other's arms? Like, I don't think it ended that way. It just was like a date, and then they went to sleep, and I was like, what in the fuck? Like, it was just the slowest burn in most spots. That like,
Very slow burn, which I have no patience for.
and I'm sorry, but her mom being like, who does not know about the marriage of convenience, is like, oh, like, what's going on with you and Vuck? It's like, if my daughter, who was supposed to get married and the husband was shot at the altar, who's still engaged, like, and then suddenly she brings home this man and she's like, and I see that there's a connection, I'd be like, girl, what the fuck are you doing?
Wow,
Like,
your supposed to be husband is recovering in the hospital.
yes, that's why I was like, are we not gonna bring this up? Like,
Also, that was wild. Like, if you still had to play that part of wife, if they still thought they were going to get married together, I was like, that's the biggest red flag. Your wife not sitting by your hospital bed.
yeah. And it was just like I guess, I don't know, like different connections with these characters. Like even her and Jordan was such a sweet character, and then for her in most chapters would be like, Jordan's my best friend, or like, Jordan is the only friend I have and he's the only one I trust. And then for her to be like, I don't know why I didn't tell Jordan and I only told Vuck. Like, I don't know why, I didn't tell Jordan this, I didn't tell Jordan that. It's like, if you fucking told Jordan, he probably would understand. Like,
that's also like the miscommunication trope kills me. I'm like, just talk to one another.
But especially if it's like a friend miscommunication, because it's like, girl, you're supposed to be friends with this person. You were going to marry this person for 5 years and keep up a charade for 5 years. And you can't even tell him a single thing. Like, he knows he doesn't want to be with you. You don't want to be with him. It's in the fucking contract. And then you can't even say like, hey, I think I have feelings for someone else. Like, that's literally the definition of communication. Like, in a contract.
And the crazy thing is that was allowed. Like, what was the whole point of hiding it?
She was like, well, I don't want the media to discover me. It's like, girl, like, you don't want to be in the media anyway.
And that was the whole part of the contract. They could date whoever they wanted as long as they were being, what's the word?
Like,
I don't want to say sneaky, but careful. Yeah. So I'm like, the second you started feeling feelings for Vuck, just because it's his best friend, so what? You guys made this pact.
And even at the wedding, like, Jordan was like, you could have just said something. Like, when he found out, he's like, why didn't you just say anything? Like, that I'm not gonna be with her. Like, you could have said something. Like, you think that Jordan wouldn't be the ultimate wingman? Like, if they wanted to be together, he would, like, arrange private cars and private this and that, like, to help them, like, keep it a secret. Mm-hmm. Like,
and that also being his, like, best friend, like.
Mm-hmm. I understand, like, the situation Vuck was in. Like, he didn't want them to get married because he wants to be with her. I just think it was just, like, if he had said something pages ago, and he should have, we wouldn't be in that situation, which I understand, like, it furthers the plot of the book and to read the book and whatnot, but it's just like damn, this literally boiled down to fucking communication. Nobody has it.
Yeah.
Unreal. But
yep. Okay, I'm glad I wasn't the only one, because I was over it.
Yeah, I didn't see anything on TikTok, surprisingly. Because I was doom scrolling when I was not reading this book, because I was like, oh my god, get me the hell away from this book. But I didn't see anything on this book. My coworker was reading it, and she didn't say anything to me. So I'm like, okay, am I the problem? And then you said you finished it, and I'm like, okay, it might be me. But I'm glad.
No, I just had to get it out of the way.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt too, because I'm like, I don't want to DNF it when I'm so close to being done. Like, what if it does pick up? But I don't know. And I have to DNF for like a really good reason. So I didn't see this as a good enough reason, but it still wasn't good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Did we get everything out of our system?
I think so. If I think of anything, I'll text you.
Okay. So this was Megan and Becca, and we reviewed King of Envy by Anna Huang. And we'll see you guys probably this time next year for the next book. But okay, bye-bye.
Bye.